Brand new best of 3. Let's move creator's name here. In the bottom left, as the blue Protoss, we have stats. In the top right, as the red Protoss, it is creator. So come get your PvP. It's always happening here on twitch.tv/ZombieGrub. ZombieGrub. This will lead into a PvZ. And the other semifinal is a PvP. Which means we could have a PvP finals as well. Solar seems to be doing okay by beating Bunny, but he hasn't really been tested in this bracket against Protoss. So... yeah, I would expect... I think Stats is going to win this, and Stats is going to win versus Solar, and then maybe like a Stats Zest finals is what I'm predicting. But my bracket predictions are terrible, so... who knows? PvP, it's a fun little matchup sometimes. Sometimes it's also one-sided and really, really stupid. In this case, I expect it to be a little more fun than the other PvPs we had today. For those who have been around since the beginning, certainly well. More evenly matched. I mean, sometimes Stats is like literally the best Protoss in the world, and it's not an even match no matter what. And other times he's not. And especially when it comes to online tournaments, I expect him to be a lot more wishy-washy. A lot more not Stats world champion, defender of Korean crowns type thing. But we'll see. Creator, Creator is a good Protoss vs. Protoss player. I would not think it an upset if Creator were to win this one. At Stats is starting off a little bit cheesy. He is proxying that robo, or hiding it really. It's not so much proxied. Creator sees the lack of second pylon and will be scouting. Getting some stalkers here is a good opener against those who are opening without their second pylon in their base. You can scout with these stalkers, and even if you are combated by their stalkers, point is you have the same amount, right? If you open up Stalker Sentry, you're not really going to be able to scout with that. It's not until the Hallucinated Phoenix is ready to go. And if it is some just like early push, and it's not even, the pylon's not even being used, again, stalkers can help you out. The Stats, well, his pylon's found. He knows it's a proxy robo. He's going to go ahead and just instantly beeline to his robo to defend it, because he knows that's exactly what Creator's going to do, is beeline towards it to kill it. But one has a bit faster reinforcements than the other, and since it's not really proxied, it's just hidden, it's actually Stats that has the slightly faster reinforcements. He might be able to go ahead and sandwich Creator stalkers here. Well, even worse than that, Creator wasn't paying attention, so he takes some massive damage on a stalker, tries to retreat now into the third stalker that Stats built. Immortal's going to pop out, no problem. Shield battery on the way in case it's a Stargate, because Stats certainly doesn't have a lot of scouting himself. Basically none. And then that's going to cover him to just focus entirely on the push. War Prism now on the way. Unfortunately, both stalkers did die for Creator, and his Adepts feel like they can't really do very much. He does put down a proxy pylon, but ooh, Stats is all over this. This is delaying the push, but it might not really be that bad to do that in order to stop any Adept proxy warpins. Now, even though this wasn't a great start for Creator by losing those stalkers, he did get such an early scout that he didn't, go for a Nexus, which really would have been difficult to hold with that start without a shield battery on the low ground, which he has no pylon to put a shield battery down. So it's much better to get the early scout. He's on the high ground. He's actually going to go for the Stargate defense as well, which is going into Void Rays as far as we've seen. Shield battery is going to finish on the high ground. Stats, I guess, anticipating this, because he knew he was scouted, is not going to dedicate so much to just the push. He's going to go for his own Stargate. See, the Void Ray thing was something I saw Neeb doing a whole lot. And I would talk about in those games how, oh, it's surprising but for Void Ray, because, I would expect more Phoenix. Phoenix are cheaper, faster producing. They can dip in and out of engagements and still do some decent crowd control, even if they have to skedaddle really quickly. Void Rays are super expensive, slow if they're prismatically aligned, and are easily targetable as well, since there's that one giant thing that's expensive. Definitely target that thing, right? Phoenix a little more difficult, but Void Rays do one thing very, very well, and that's tear down Warp Prisms, which a lot of the attacks from a proxy robo are based around, well, especially attacks up a ramp are based around using that Warp Prism to micro. Phoenix will take a little while longer to do that, but Phoenix can lift Immortals out of the equation. They can try and tackle the Warp Prism. I like the option of Phoenix. In this case, all these hypotheticals about what happens when you engage doesn't even matter. Stats decides not to engage. He goes for a much faster Nexus. He already forced Creator to do anything to defend, so he didn't go for a fast Nexus. If this was a fast Nexus, Stats is absolutely trying to kill it, because he has more chance to kill it, and also because he has to kill it. But now it's Stats with the faster Nexus, and Stats also went for his own Stargate, so possibly we could have had Phoenix versus Phoenix. Stats actually decides not to dedicate too much into this, whereas Creator thinks that he's okay to go ahead and send this out. He's actually not. This was a, oof, that's a mistake as well. The Phoenix need to be back here helping, taking out this Immortal, tackling the Warp Prism, and instead Stats, he gets a faster Nexus, and he gets his Robo scouted, gets a faster Nexus, and he still ends up winning the game, like, so one-sidedly. Like, what is PvP? An observer he had placed over the army was such a good thing as well, because it told him that the Phoenix aren't home. He's not prepared to defend. I can totally win this. Bit of a lame ending there for Creator. And thank you, Alice, for the 63 months resub. Time flies when listening to ZG. Good. Otherwise, time is stupid and walks. Ziggy, what are you doing? I don't know what that is. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe you guys can see. Kind of. You can kind of see him. Okay. He's got a little toy there, but he has something else on it. If you guys don't know, Ziggy always wants to play.
Resubscription received. Apparently you are doing something right.
If there was a channel point redemption for play with Ziggy, Ziggy would appreciate it a lot. Oops. We're spawning on Simulacrum. In the bottom right is the Blue Protoss with stats. Top left, it is Creator. Thank you, Seal Pup B3B0 for the 5-month resub. Oh, man. Oh, sleep schedules, am I right, you guys? Why aren't we designed to be able to go to sleep and wake up at any time we want? Why are we designed to sleep? While the openings start up here, we'll wait to see if there's any proxy pylons. I'm gonna grab some water. Okay, so I come back to a probe staying near its proxy pylon, so Creator is absolutely going to be proxying, whereas Stats did the old fake. The old, I did it the first time, but I'm not doing it the second time. Stargate's proxy. Yeah, typically you see that over here, but because it's typical to see it over there, it's usually scouted. More so, proxying in PvP is about hiding it than it is about actually getting closer, getting in proximity of your opponent's base. You see robos from basically your own base. Like in people's naturals, their own naturals, proxying robos. Because it's better to just not be scouted than it is to get a proxy. Well, this unfortunately is scouted regardless of its location. And Stats, it seems, was already thinking about Stargate, or already thinking it was a proxy Stargate. So he has a Stargate of his own on the way. It's not going to time out well enough to get a Phoenix to stop the Oracle, so he's going to have to get a shield battery, as we see. A couple of awkward adepts to adept attacks in the middle of the map, both of them sending their adepts to try and get the surprise gotcha probe damage. Not that these would have done a whole lot. There is a shield battery after all. And 2 stalkers prepared, but they are denied access. Looks like the adepts of Stats are going to try and take out the pylon. The probe is already working on it, man. And Creator made 2 more adepts to try and stop that from being taken out. 2 adept plus an oracle might have been able to tear through a shield battery eventually. But Stats had units. He had 4 stalkers to respond, and he also did finally finish that Stargate. So a Phoenix pops out. Generally helpful against the Oracle, but very helpful taking out the second adept from the equation. You need 2 adepts actually timing out their attacks to one-shot a probe, and not going to happen with a Phoenix and that crowd control. Stats expands, Creator expands, the game goes on. Stats is going to choose to continue making Phoenix. At least a 3rd one's on the way. But what a matchup. What a meme. Trying on your computer for a few years? I mean, I get your analogy, but humans aren't computers. If biology wanted to, they could have made us like dolphins. For some reason, instead, most of the animal kingdom needs to sleep. And it's like, why biology? Why you do us like that? Actually, I love sleeping, but I don't like lack of sleep, which is often what is happening. Yo, I had the weirdest dream too, guys. I'm gonna tell you about this instead of what's happening in the PvP. I had a dream where I was in a tournament, like some Open Cup tournament, just like having fun streaming. Like, you know, like Roddy, except I don't expect to actually win or anything like that. And I faced Namshar. And I guess this is me thinking Namshar's ZVT isn't very good. Because in my dream, I beat Namshar in 1 map. And it was like, I remember like it being a crazy like back and forth. I barely did enough damage, and he was down to like 20 supply of mutas, and I was still at 60 supply, and I barely won, and I got all excited and like cheered in the chat, and I was like really hamming it up, saying that like, oh, he's so bad, boo. But the game itself was so stressful, because it was mostly my dream, was about the game itself. It was so stressful that I woke up stressed, and like I didn't actually sleep. I gotta tell you, that's not worth beating Namshar in my dreams in a TVZ. It wasn't worth it. I don't know why it was specifically Namshar either. I don't know why that was the case. I don't even see him in ZVTs. I mostly cast him playing ZVZs and ZVPs. I don't know, man. Anyways, a fast 3rd Nexus here from Creator, but he's the one going for Blink. He really likes Blink, doesn't he? So it's usually what we see anyways. Ooh, nice micro from both players. 1 Phoenix survives, 1 Oracle survives. Ooh. Look at that. Yeah, what we see with the Blink player is typically that faster 3rd. Also, Blink being very helpful / necessary against someone going for Phoenix. Stats didn't really, like, go for 20 Phoenix, but Blink has come back into PvP anyways. It's just a choice to do. So, faster 3rd Nexus for him, tackling the Phoenix, and then also proxying a gateway and going for a push. Stats knows he's going to have a later 3rd Nexus, but he will possibly have the better army as more immortals are added in, Archons as well. He sees this attack incoming, tries to get a jump on it. He's got Dark Shrine on the way. Interesting choice. Typically that would be the Templar Archives, and like I said, you'd be building up to a better army. But going for the Dark Shrine wants to actually stop this from just being nothing but defense. Nothing but him on the defensive. He's going to be able to get a couple of DTs across the map somehow, especially after he took out that Observer. Oh wait, no, that was his Observer. Well, anyways, Oracle not going to be able to help in the actual engagements. Looks like Creator's Blink Stalkers don't need it. Slicing off an Immortal and taking that out of the equation. Still 2 left over, but another Sentry sliced away from its protective family here. Stalkers on the left side for stats. We're dealing with the Stalkers on the left side from Creator, and it was just a big old mess of an engagement coming from 2 different sides. Zealots not with charge yet. Looking awfully difficult. They're having a difficult time, guys. They're looking awfully bad. Nope, not anymore. They actually get on top of the Stalkers, and suddenly they look good again. That blink forward to take out the Immortals there might not have been worth all the damage taken from the Zealots. I don't know about that one. Crater, I feel like he was doing okay. He was going to be able to kite these Zealots for another 20 seconds until charge finished up. And instead, he let the Zealots actually get on top of him, do all the damage that the Immortals would have been doing. Anyways. Okay, great, you took out Immortals. You know, the slower building units, they're very expensive, but just lost most of your Stalkers in that engagement. And now stats coming with DTs actually might just be the GG button. He's not going to be able to clear up every single base in fast enough time. Yeah, it's the GG button. Well done, stats.